Hi there. I wanted to talk today about feeling guilt at work. Now, I'm going to be talking primarily about working in the health service, but what I'm talking about could equally apply to any high stress, high demand workplace, or perhaps a high stakes place of work. So, first of all, I'm going to be talking about guilt rather than shame. Now, I know those two words can seem very similar and can almost be used interchangeably, but there is an important difference. Shame is a bad feeling about the self. So I am a bad person because of that thing that I did. Whereas guilt is a bad feeling about a behaviour. I feel bad about that thing that I did, or I feel bad because I should have done that thing and perhaps didn't. Shame tends to be a more negative feeling in that it makes us feel small, we want to hide away, and leads to inaction. Whereas guilt, on the other hand, arguably is more positive in that it can lead us to do something about it. Maybe that starts with an apology and then moves us to action to try and put something right. So on the face of it, guilt can maybe be seen as something that is good in a way if it leads to increased action, increased productivity perhaps. But that's really short-term thinking. The consequence inevitably of feeling that repeated guilt over and over again over a long period of time will be fatigue. And if that is left unchecked, fatigue will become exhaustion with associated poor performance. And again over time, that will become burnout and perhaps sickness absence. Here's a few examples of guilt in the workplace. There's so many patients to be seen and they've been waiting so long. I'll feel guilty if I don't stay on after my shift and help see them. If I don't take that extra duty on this weekend, I'll feel guilty if one of my colleagues ends up doing it instead. If I take my break now, I'll feel guilty if somebody else doesn't get their break or end up not getting that job done that I've been trying to get to for the last few hours. Maybe you can relate to those examples, or perhaps you've got examples of your own from your own workplace. So what can we do about this feeling of guilt at work? Well, first of all, it might be worth considering, is this fair? Is there any justification for feeling this way? Most of us who went into work in the healthcare system did so out of a sense of compassion for our fellow citizens, wanting to do a good job or the best job we can for our patients. But it can be really difficult to express that compassion and be that compassionate person if we've shown no compassion to ourselves. It's maybe worth thinking for a moment how you can be kind and be compassionate to yourself. Give yourself permission to think about all the hard work that you've done already and give yourself a break. Lastly, it's maybe worth thinking about the good, valued, close friend that you might have who could give you advice about this. What advice would they give? Well, would they say, yeah, you're right to feel guilty about that? Or would they say, hold on a minute, that's not fair. You need to give yourself a break. You need to look after yourself for a moment. And maybe that's advice that we could really do with taking on board. Anyway, that's all from me for now. If you want to hear any more about my coaching work, then please go to cjlightbodycoaching.com. And in the meantime, as always, thank you for listening and take care.